Today I'm going to be spending 30 minutes with you live doing product research so you can get an over-the-shoulder view of exactly how I would look at products and analyze them. And really quickly, just to show you that I do in fact know what I'm talking about, not just some guy with a Lamborghini. We've done $43,000 in the last 30 days selling one product made in the USA. With my new Amazon FBA brand. So we're going to be using a software called Helium 10 today. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Helium 10 is, it's a software that allows us Amazon sellers to analyze markets, figure out how much products are selling, etc. There'll be a link in the description that gets you 20% off for 6 months when you use my link. Now there's two main objectives we have right now. We're trying to figure out who to sell to and what to sell. Now for this first strategy, we're just going to simply click on the tools and then black box product research section. And then we're going to click on this button right here that says high growth. Then we're going to come over here to edit filters. And then the categories, we're just going to select a few here. So we're going to go arts, crafts, and sewing. We're going to come down and do home and kitchen, industrial, scientific, patio, lawn, and garden. And then we're going to come here and select tools and home improvement. And we're just going to hit search with that. I really like doing this one because it is simple. Every day the results change. So it's not like you just click on that and you always see the same. We're going to zoom in here and scroll through here. And now immediately there's a few pieces of criteria that I'm looking for as I look at these products that I have in mind. Would the person who buys this thing be considered an enthusiast? Are they interested in this? Would they be excited that it was arriving? Do they buy more than just one thing in this area? We would say someone who buys a sponge is not an enthusiast. That's just a need in a commodity. Someone who maybe buys a expensive fly fishing reel is an enthusiast, however. Secondly, we would want to see that it is in a high growth market, or at least a maintaining or growing market, certainly not shrinking. We should see that it's evergreen and consistent, and hopefully has a trend that's trending slightly upward every year. More and more people are getting interested in it, etc. Now there's a few more pieces of key criteria that I'm going to be sharing with you today, but we'll get to them as we see them. Something like this, just a frame shadow box, I would not say that's something I would sell anymore. It might have been something I would sell back in the day, but I've since narrowed down my criteria. And in fact, everything I'm teaching you today, my product fits into that criteria, because I know people will be curious. My market specifically, 2 of the sellers have over 10,000 reviews, 10,000. 10 of the sellers have over 1,000 reviews. Think of that, right? Most of the Amazon FBA product research videos you're going to hear and be like, hey, only sell in markets with under 100 reviews. And that's just not true, right? It's just like this thing that everyone says and everyone hears everyone else say it, so they keep saying it. It's not true. My competitors have boring packaging and bad presentations. The customers care about the product quality. They ask questions, etc. And my customers repurchase my products and my competitors' products. So they can buy potentially my product more than one time. Okay, so here's an interesting one. 1 pound of ivory polymeric sand. Okay, now that's to most people, you're like, what is that? And in fact, to myself, I'm a little bit like, what is that? But I kind of like it because it says for pavers and joints and gaps. So this is probably a product that's going to be reused on a job site, used to achieve something more than once. Right off the bat, we have kind of like an enthusiast customer, someone who wants to get a job done and get a job done well. Now we have to go figure out, is the market evergreen or growing? So we're going to search polymeric sand. Don't know if that's the right term yet, but it'll get us close enough for sure. Then we're actually going to open Helium 10 X-Ray. If you use the link in the description and get Helium 10, you will have access to both their web app, where you can do research like this, and access to their Chrome extension, in which you can open it up on Amazon and view in real time how much money different sellers are making. So we can see that that Dominator brand does $300,000 per month in revenue. That's really big. This one does $28,000. Another one from this brand is $115,000. Does $15,000. Okay, that's really interesting. So let's go into their sales graph and actually go to all time, and let's try and see what the seasonality is and how this product sells over different months. So it does look like there's a little bit of a gap in the winter. We only have 1 year of data here. What I like to do is cross-reference that with another seller that sells well. This seller here, their sales graph, go to all time. Do they have a dip in the winter? And yes, it does look like they do. So what that means is that we can assume that maybe May through fall is going to be more like April through October is going to be the season in which this sells. And you can imagine that November through February, you're not going to sell as well. So it does go against one of my pieces of criteria. However, there is slight seasonality within the product that I sell now, and it is a similar trend to that actually. We don't sell incredibly well in the winter. So that wouldn't necessarily deter me. If I could make $300,000 a month for 6 to 7 months straight, I would be just fine with that. Now, I promised there would be additional criteria. Let's get into that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually open both of those listings that are selling really well. And then we're going to click into those listings and we are going to open up Review Insights by Helium 10. Again, all of this is included with your subscription. So Review Insights up here, we'll open that on both and let that run. And then one of the first things I like to do is come up here to Review Analysis. And we can see there's actually a lot of things mentioned using similar words here, like applied. Equates to a 2.2 star rating, which is good. So we can see that something's going wrong with the application. What is it? The product's terrible, discolors the paper and does not stay within the joints. Wash prior, wait till dry, applied. Seems fine, but when I go to rinse, the sand washed out of the joints. It did not come off the papers. Take it all back. Don't buy this product. First applied, and then after a very dry September, rain. So it seems like this product has a lot of problem with water. That's really interesting. This product sells incredibly well, but there's an immense amount of bad reviews about application. Let's see, cracks. So if the product is cracking. Now what I would be doing at this point is I'd be noting all of this down, potentially even screenshotting it or exporting the analysis of this listing's reviews, because I'd be able to bring that up with my supplier for this product during research and development and come up with solutions for these problems, potentially mix in other compounds to help with the setting or with the waterproof and non-cracking, etc. So that is one example of a product that sells 6 figures per month. Honestly, could potentially work for us. Now we've moved on to the next listing. We're going to Review Analysis again. Let's see. Even if there's words like just, that's okay, because what we're seeing is the aggregation of low reviews. So let's see. 72 hours and it just sand that blows away. WTF. 5 people found that helpful. That doesn't bind after wetting. It never sets and washes out. Okay, the more I read these reviews, the more I think this is potentially an incredible product. Customers hate the options on the market, and yet they buy $30,000 a month to $300,000 a month worth of this product from spring through the fall. This is honestly a product that I would move on to the next step with, which would be coming up with solutions to the problems, figuring out who the customer is that's using this. Is it a DIY person that's kind of like doing it themselves, or is it a professional that's using this for work? Sounds like from the reviews we're reading, there's a lot of DIY. Product 1 is an absolute success. I would look into that further, try and find a supplier here locally in the US for that, and then come up with great branding for it. So if we knew it was a bunch of DIYers, right, we could kind of appeal to them with how we design our bag, how we sell the features of it, right? Because we know that people are complaining and seeing other people complaining about it's not setting, etc. Maybe ours is called like super set, or like, use some extreme language about the fact that we've solved the problem. Just a quick announcement, I did just launch my Savage Sellers Amazon FBA course down below. First link in the description. We're doing our first Q&A this week, so if you want to actually ask me questions live, you can either choose the base course, which does give you access to live Q&A, or you can do the base course plus one-on-one mentorship. You get access to talk to me personally on the phone for 1 hour every single month. Hope to see you in there. Other than that, thanks so much. Let's get back to the video. So that was the first method that we were using here on the products tab, where we just used the simple filter there. I'm going to show you another one using the keywords tab here. So we're going to come back up to black box, and instead of products, just use keywords. And then we're going to manually enter in some filters here. So we're going to go search volume must be at least 4,000 per month. We're going to scroll over to the right down here and do competitor revenue must be more than 10,000. There must be at least 5 sellers with more than $10,000 in sales. From there, we're going to go review count, max of 15,000, which I know sounds absolutely insane, assuming you've seen some videos like I was saying where people say 75. Trust me, it can be done. You just have to build a great product and figure out who the customer is. Price is going to be 13 to 40, and then we're going to come back down to categories, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. So we're going to go arts, crafts, and sewing, home and kitchen, industrial and scientific, patio, lawn, garden, sports and outdoors, tools and home improvement. And we'll go ahead and hit search on that. And now instead of products, you'll notice we're being given search terms. Cool thing about this is we know that this search term is being searched at least 4,000 times. So if you look here, the search volume of that phrase is 9,000. So as Amazon sellers, our goal is not to invent products. Our goal is to figure out what already sells well, make a better version of it, and sell more of it than anyone else. So this helps because we're starting from a point of people are already looking for this. A lot of them are looking for this. Push-up board is interesting. Enthusiast customer for sure. Fitness is a great market where you can build a brand in. And I don't even know what the product is, so I'll have to look into it. So one of the first things I like to do when I land on a market is just scroll through the page and see like how densely packed are the also products. Also meaning like we're all just selling the same thing. Nothing is unique here. So like I haven't seen immensely unique products. This one looks better. Like it looks less cheap. Something about the primary colors on these make them look very silly to me. I don't know why everyone's doing that. Well, I know why everyone's doing it. It's because it's probably what's on Alibaba. When you search it, it's right there. Okay, let's see how they're selling. I mean, I'm sure they're selling absolutely amazing. 20,000 per month, 30,000 per month, 120,000 per month, 30, 26, 75,000 per month. There's just opportunity everywhere, to be honest. I mean, if you're not selling on Amazon, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, it's very busy main image. I do think there lacks like a big brand presence. So one of the things I also notice when I scroll through on the main page is, do I feel compelled to buy any one right away? And if so, why? One of the ones I actually do, even though it's not even I don't even think the same product, this one caught my attention because of how minimalist it is. It's funny because these are all so busy that all you would almost have to do is come up with a much sleeker design. Like I would probably go all black. I would reduce the number of elements in there, but I would maybe increase the size of the grips. And this is just me thinking about it. I haven't even read reviews yet. So why don't we actually do that? Let's go into one of the ones that sells a very high number, this one here, and we'll open up our review insights tool. And then this time, instead of just going to review analysis, we're actually going to open the top helpful reviews. These are all reviews that many people have found helpful. So this is a good product for what it was meant to do, target specific areas. I want to stop at 10 because my palms hurt. Buy some batting cork to wrap it with. Point is, I shouldn't have to spend money to improve the product. Okay, so the handles are really hard. So the simple solution, right? We could make thicker grips that have more cushioning on them. Second issue is the handles do not slide out of place easily. Simply lifting one hand at a time, replace the handle. So they get stuck in there. So the pegs are just not properly fitted. This one literally said it didn't come with handles. Much narrower push-ups, even at its widest option. Not ideal for larger adults with wider chests and shoulders. So we could make the product wider. And also, I'm really interested in seeing, this truly is a masterclass because there's some things here that I like to do on products that most people don't even think of right away. Let's look at the packing dimensions of this product. So we're actually going to come up here. We're going to go to Profitability Calculator, another software tool function of Helium 10. We're going to look right here. So it's 13 inches wide. Okay. So that must be folding in half because this is obviously wider than 13 inches here. Okay, yeah, it's 25.2 inches wide, which means that it must fold in half. Yeah, folds in half. Okay. So that actually gives us some leeway because you can stay in large standard size up to 18 inches, which means we could technically have a like 35-inch wide board, which would be 10 inches wider than this one, and we'd still have a spot in large standard size. Obviously, your fees still go up because your dimensions are bigger, but if we lead with that as a feature, we might be able to charge more. Now, I know this sounds kind of bizarre, but you can do some split testing with a product like this and like 3D render or mock up one made out of like all solid wood. Like, would it be cool to make this? One of the problems with this, and I speak personally with home workout equipment, is you build up a lot of it and it all kind of looks like this, like kind of weird and colorful and black, etc. And then you just have like this stuff that's not integrated into your house, spread out in a couple different rooms that doesn't look very nice. So if we can figure out a way where it's obviously home workout equipment to make it look nice, like storing it in the corner, it's just like a pretty all wooden board. Those are things that we can test, right? We can do surveys about that on PickView. We can do surveys about that right here on Helium 10 if we go to Tools, and then we go to Audience. Here you get market feedback and run surveys for, you could pay for surveys to be run. Not bad at all. Hopefully you enjoyed my thinking process with that product. There's not as much excitement for me on that one because of the fact that it's not repurchasable. I really like the sand bags. What was it called? Polymeric sand. That's something that you would probably have to buy multiple bags of to complete the job, and potentially even buy more than one bag if it's part of your job. So let's see, tabletop fire pit. Let's take a look at that one. So I'm picturing my customer is like potentially hosting. They have maybe a patio, right? They're doing this outdoors, of course. So they have a little table outside. Maybe they want to like roast marshmallows. First things first, scroll test, just see kind of what the market looks like. How many are there? Is there distinction between each other? So there's obviously quite a few different options. One thing I then like to do too is just see like which one sells the best and why. So it does actually see, it seems like there's two main options, right? There's like the rectangular, longer option, typical of what we'd see in like electric fireplace, and then there's these little circular ones. So we're gonna pull up Helium 10 and see which ones are driving the most revenue. Absolute largest one revenue wise is doing $95,000 per month. And then we have some of the other long rectangular ones doing $50,000 per month. And then let's just take a look through here. So it's interesting, right? Because there are quite a few doing like $15,000, $20,000 per month. Okay, this one's crushing it. So this one's doing $112,000 per month. The largest revenues are coming from the rectangular long ones. The circular ones, by all means, I mean, $20K a month is awesome. This one proved me wrong, $90,000 per month. So I just try and wrap my head around, what is the trend in the market. And then one thing you can do is sort by sales and just see literally which ones are selling the most. So from sheer sales volume, number of unique orders per month, the round concrete fire pit for $25.99 is doing the most. And then actually the only reason this one has such a high revenue is because I didn't even notice this. The price is like twice everything else. So it actually makes more money than anything else selling a third of the number of units because they're doing it as a premium product here. Which, if I could sell 3,600 units for $93,000 or 1,200 units for $112,000, I would definitely choose to have the premium brand selling less units in total, but making more money. So let me bring up a few points to you now, because it's easy, especially back to back now that you've seen a few examples, to notice a few things. The first one, had we made a better product that truly fixed the issues the customers were having, it would be night and day. Like people would they would buy us, the reviews would all compound and be great because, hey, this product actually works. It does exactly what it says it's supposed to do. Versus something like this where the average review rating's quite high and people are, I think, buying more so aesthetically than they actually are buying based on features of any individual product. They're just like, which one do I like the look of the most? I tend to find that products where you're winning with aesthetics and just like design changes tend to be the hardest. Unless you're doing massive surveys to actually get a really good idea of what your customer wants and why they would buy one thing more than another. Coming up with a new design that's going to be trendy and get everyone to purchase it can be really overwhelming. I tend to steer away from things where customers are just buying the one they like the look of the most. That being said, let's come back, look for maybe one more. Why don't we do this actually? Gun oil, that sounds really good. Certainly an enthusiast customer, right? Taking care of your firearm. It's definitely a growing market. And then the thing I like about this most is that I think this market specifically be extremely susceptible to great branding. So counter to what I said before, where people are buying the look of the product, I actually do like going into markets where people are buying based on the look of the packaging. Packaging, to me, is a lot easier to design to be optimized for a conversion than like the actual product itself is. So of course, if we were to open up Helium 10, we would want to see which the best selling products are. And it looks like it's pretty much perfectly sorted in terms of which is selling the most. Mossy Oak has a bundle here, a cleaner and lubricant and protectant, all in one, $122,000 per month. And then we have a Lucas Extreme, we've got a Rem, and then a Hops doing $77,000 per month. So of course we'd want to click into the listing, look at the reviews, and figure out if there are any problems with it. With a market as established as this one that's been around for so long, you're probably going to have more refined products. There might be less to complain around. However, whoa, there's a lot of bad reviews coming in. So let's see what those are all about. And a lot of people found them helpful too. Products just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so arrived 70% full, product is small, bottles 3/4 full. Those are certainly things we could fix. We could sell a bigger bottle with more oil in it. I mean, a simple solution, but let me just play devil's advocate for a second here. Some of these brands are super well known, so there could be some brand loyalty. I sell against a major brand in my market, so as long as you do a good enough job differentiating yourself, creating value, and making an offer so good that people feel stupid saying no, in the words of Alex Hormozy, you should be able to break into just about any market. Now, there are caveats to that. It's a dichotomy, right? It's not always just one way. Through training yourself, the way that you think about markets and the way that you go about taking action, learn from people who have done it before, read books about these topics, and you should do just fine. If you need any help at all, there will be a link down below to my Savage Sellers course. I just released it a week ago, and it's been a lot of fun to talk to you who have joined it. It comes with all sorts of goodies and resources for you and live Q&A with me. And other than that, be sure to subscribe down below for more free content here on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.